Welcome to the Munchies Test Kitchen. We got a lot of awesome stuff in the garden. We've washed our tomato vines here. We're gonna bash them. So when you're bashing them, basically, see, it gets out all your aggression.
Yeah, right?
I feel better already about that. If you wanna go ahead and do that, just go ahead and bash it a little bit.
I do.
So fun,
I'm not
right?
telling you who I'm thinking about right now. Food is definitely going to waste around the world. They say about 1/3 of the world's food never gets eaten. In the US, we estimate it's more like 40%.
Like, how exactly would you define what you do?
I'm a senior scientist at the Natural Resources Defense Council, NRDC, which is an environmental organization. So it might seem strange that I work on wasting less food, but we see wasting less food as having an efficient food system. Food is one of the most resource-intensive things that we go through on a daily basis. And we invest so many of our resources in growing food. Overall, the equivalent of 39 million cars worth of greenhouse gases is being produced to grow food that never gets eaten. There is a certain amount of food that we're all wasting that can be stopped really easily. Just by thinking about it, you'll start to make slightly different decisions and waste a little bit less. And then there's kind of another layer where you need maybe some different information, and that's kind of what I tried to do in the book.
So tell me about your book.
My book is the Waste-Free Kitchen Handbook. It's really meant to be kind of information and inspiration to waste less food.
So what can I do to be less wasteful?
There's so many easy things that you can do. Try to plan your meals, or at least think about your week ahead when you're shopping. Another is store your food properly. Next is to freeze food. You can freeze almost anything. So a little bit of planning, a little bit of commitment, and I think it goes a long way.
We have a garden here at Munchies, and I think, in the process of us growing all these things, we're trying to find creative ways to use all this stuff. We've been trying to figure out all the ways that we can do that, and a lot of the time, we're trying to preserve things and gotten a little weird with some of our experiments. So we actually have 3 vegetable plots. Right now, we have eggplants, arugula growing. We actually have carrots, and that's another thing that we've been figuring out, how to use the whole carrot.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna pull a couple. This looks like a good one.
Woohoo!
We try to come out here on a daily basis and just see what's growing and what we can use, whether it's for recipes that we're testing or just little experiments that we do and fun recipes that we're kind of creating as we go. So, oh, you guys got some tomato vines, I see.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I'm getting some nice shallots.
Are you gonna use the tops too?
Yeah, we can use the whole part of this. That's gonna be good.
A lot of people aren't learning to cook as much and aren't in the habit. We're eating out a lot more. When you garden, you're just so much closer to the food, and you start to ask, wait, why can I eat that leaf and not that leaf? And so then you start to use that leaf as well.
Thought what we would do today to start out is maybe make the tomato vine vinegar. It's super easy. You're going to rinse off the vines really nicely. There's a lot of dirt and everything on there. Roughly chop them, put them in a nice big container, and you're just gonna bash the hell out of them.
All right, tell me this is hard work.
So what this is doing is getting out all that kind of flavor, that smell. You said the smell of summer, right there.
So good.
And then we're gonna pour some vinegar over it and let it sit for a month, and it's good to go.
A month, huh?
Yeah, we're just using a plain distilled white vinegar. You could use any vinegar you wanted, really. But I think the plain one is nice because that is, this is gonna be taking on the flavor.
So basically,
that's
this
in
whole
there.
thing is gonna cost 50 cents to make.
Yeah. What I love to do with carrot tops is make pesto. So I think what we'll do, we'll make a pesto pasta salad. We'll take some of these beautiful greens we have, give them a rough chop. We're gonna use some grana padano for this pesto.
What's that?
It's very similar to Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna get you to grate some cheese because
Yes,
I hear you're pretty great. I'm gonna toast some of these nuts. So we've got cashews and hazelnuts. You can do them in the oven. I've got the oven preheating. We're gonna go nuts. I'm sorry for the puns. But I'm not really that sorry.
Well, I think one key is to really have some things on hand that you're gonna be able to whip up into a meal. And that helps you avoid, overbuying when you're at the store.
The cool thing about making this pesto is that, you know, the carrot top is really the only thing that's fresh from this. Everything else is kind of pantry staples that you have. So I'm gonna put this in the oven. That's a heated oven, maybe about 400 degrees, and we'll toast them for 5 minutes. We can throw that right into there as well.
All of it?
Throw all of it in. Why not? The
Never have
cheesier
too
the
much
better.
cheese.
Hell yeah. I might also throw in some lemon zest.
What I love about this is like, these are all things that, not all, probably not the cheese, but that people would normally just like throw out. The average family of 4 throws out $1,500 per year on food that never gets wasted. I actually think it might even be more, but that's not including these kind of things, which you don't even know you can use.
So I'm gonna cook this pasta over here. So we've got some orchetti. We're gonna pop that in there to a pot of generously salted water. I'm gonna get my timer on. We'll get it nice and al dente. All right. I'll let these nuts cool for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we will throw them into our pesto. And I'm gonna roast the tomatoes whole, because what's gonna happen is that they're just gonna begin to burst. We'll do some olive oil, some salt.
So how long will you roast them for then to get that?
We'll do it at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, and that should be perfect. We'll go with some oil. Do you wanna go ahead and just give it a grind? A little bit of lemon juice. All right, we got some pasta here. So we're also going to use these shallots. Let's just slice them up nice and thin. So I'm just gonna give these, the green onions, a bit of a chop as well. You know what we can do is let's pick some of these carrot top leaves, because I think it'll be really nice to put into this dish. It's coming together quite nicely.
Yes.
So we're gonna toss these cucumbers from our garden as well. Throw these guys in there. So far, we've got our pasta, the carrot shavings, the cucumber, roasted tomatoes, there's carrot top leaves, the green onions, and now we've also got the white onions, and we need to put the pesto in there. So do you wanna like add in all that pesto? And then what we're gonna do is kind of massage it all together, because what I love about, like I said, with these tomatoes, because they're just roasted, they're gonna burst in there and kind of add to the flavor of the sauce, which is great. See what it tastes like. That's awesome. This is great. It was so nice having you here. I might just keep you.
Lots to take home, I know. So whatever it is, make sure that you cook it, store it, share it, just don't waste it. And go to savethefood.com for more tips on how you can do that.
I love it. Well, I don't know if this will last for double duty, because I might just eat it.
Okay, I'm having another bite.